The hosts of the In Your Corner show are not professional psychiatrists, therapists, or counselors, nor are they a substitute. Please seek professional care when necessary. The hosts assume no responsibility or liability from the outcomes of the advice given or the views and opinions of its viewers and or commenters. All information presented during the airing of the show is given as is and is subject to change. Text, images, and other materials used are for educational purposes. And we're live.
Hello and welcome to the In Your Quarter show. I am your host, Serena, and over there, that almost said Fox. That wolf
The
is your
fudge?
other host, or I don't know. I
Are
if
you
I
okay,
didn't say teddy
Serena?
bear from the game,
Don't ever
I'm
say
always
teddy
so.
bear. No, that's a connotation I do not want to have.
I don't know why I thought Fox for a moment.
I don't know.
So, how are you, Orem? How's your day?
A lot better. Getting out of that slowly spiraling neuroticism and like feeling of my life's completely utterly out of control and out of my hands. So, thumbs up for that.
Improvements.
Yes, very much so. But yes, hello and welcome everybody to the IYCS in your corner show. Serena, what are we gonna be talking about today?
So the topic we're going to talk and cover is going to be over border or not borderline. Oh my gosh. Uh bipolar disorder. That one.
Ah, that one. Okay. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm a little rusty. Give me a second here. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. There we go.
You're good.
I'm trying to get used to the whole studio mode. So I click a button doesn't mean it goes live. Ah, yay. Well, that was rather rude to me. How was your day, by the way? I apologize. I just realized I completely did not ask you.
No, you're good. We're in the middle of the thingy. So really quick, like Orem, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be on Twitch, but it says we're offline.
No, it says we're online.
Unless I'm doing something wrong. And let's be quite honest, that is a high probability.
Twitch.
What didn't
We are live. The In Your
Yeah,
Corner
I
show is
see where
live.
it says live.
Are you looking at the right
You know
spot?
what?
Because I
It's
have
a high probability I'm not.
good job. So let me
I try.
mute this. This way it doesn't double back. I'm going to send you the link on Discord. Where is Discord? There's Discord. Boop.
Hi, Discord.
Make sure to mute that and then pop out chat. Boop.
Oh, look, there we are.
I know,
To
right?
see
It's
my
like if I know what
hello.
I'm doing or
My-
something.
see, and it's weird because my hello showed, but I just couldn't see any of it.
Well, let me try mine. Oh, there's mine.
That was weird.
Yeah, well,
It's
it
okay.
wouldn't be one of our shows if something wasn't wrong.
Exactly. All right. So yeah, my day is pretty good overall. Husband and son had worked on our second portion of the chicken coop, and it is like 90% complete. I
Nice.
tried to help and of course hurt myself, so that kind of sucked.
Oh,
I took
good.
my glasses off. I should not have googly eyes anymore.
Yeah, well, screen capturing with just regular cameras are getting better, but not as great. Honestly, a lot of people say to get the iPhones because they have better face recognition. So, well, you learned the emotes.
Mm. I know. I like to use it. Um, so this is probably going to be one of those shows where people are going to catch on the backside predominantly because you know what I forgot to do this week, Orem?
I don't know if I like that sentence, catching on the backside, but continue.
Um, I forgot to post the event. Thought I did, but apparently I didn't.
Well, we don't have to post events. We could just post like, "Hey, going live" and all that fun stuff. I'll take care of that right now. Well,
Yeah, I already did that.
oh, fantastic, you're on them. So yes, bipolar disorder. So definition, according to the Mayo Clinic, bipolar disorder is a mental condition categorized by extreme mood shifts between high, such as mania or hypomania, and lows, such as depression. Bipolar disorder was once referred to as manic depression, as it has been generally classified under depressive disorders. So, yay for more studies and people actually taking the time to actually realize and go more in depth into it.
Mm. One of the things we'll learn a lot as we go over stuff is that there's a lot of overlap and misdiagnosing or like fine differences between them, between different disorders, kind of, yeah.
I'm sorry,
It
I'm
it
I'm
could be
I'm watching you, And I see what you're talking about, where your eyes are just like you blink, like you're blinking one at the other. It makes
You
me
know, the
wonder
sad
too.
part is
What?
it.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the sad part is it was doing it with my glasses, so I removed my glasses, and apparently it didn't fix it. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say possibly could be lighting as well because I do have my circle light in front of me, and it does a decent job.
Huh?
Yeah,
It could be.
I got it off Wish. It's like a little one with like bunny or not bunny ears. Looks like little bear ears on it. I have it hanging on the wall in front of me. So
Aw,
not
that
horrible, but
sounds
it's definitely
adorable.
a thing I need to do. What I want to do is there's some lights that the significant other got. They clamp to the back of your desk and shine light in front of you. She's been using it for her Lego sets and whatnot when she's at the computer. She loves the fudge out of it.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yes.
I have a book lamp or a book light that clips on, but it clips just enough to hold, but doesn't like crease the papers because that would drive me crazy.
Oh yeah.
And I use it on my night table as a night light.
Nice. As you look over to your night table, it looks like.
No, I had a cough.
Mm, gotcha. I know. Whenever I take a sip of something, the avatar loses its fecal matter.
That's okay. I'm
Uh,
about to get a coffee here soon, so that's gonna be fun.
I've
All
got.
right, so back to. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, I'm being classy. I have a glass of wine and hot fudge sundae Pop Tarts.
Ooh.
I know,
Somehow that
snazzy.
sounds like that goes well together.
It's interesting to say the least. We'll use your favorite word.
Yay! And I've tried so hard not to use it. Watch, you've opened that can.
Right?
Orem, while we're talking about bipolar, do you think we can get the first slide going?
Oh, yeah, I can. Let's go to there and let's see image one. Boop. And it's on this small screen. Do you want to pull up big?
Yeah, let's bring it up big real quick.
As you say.
Aw. So this again just kind of covers what Orem already stated. It's abnormal changes in mood, extreme changes. That's one of the pivotal concepts of bipolar disorder. Uh, Most often referred to as mood swings, and that's because it goes from highs and lows. And we'll get more into that here in a moment. So
Okay.
I thought it was new for me because I knew of mania. Or did you ever hear of hypomania before?
Actually, I'd never heard of either one of those. I just knew it as bipolar is the highs and lows, but apparently they categorize the different types of highs, but there's only one type of low, though, as far as I'm reading this. So, like, there's the highs are
Yeah,
your mania and hypomania, but it's only just depression. But we've discussed, I think, in the
correct.
previous show that was many different types of depression as well.
So, yes, and technically speaking, bipolar disorder falls under one of the categories of depression because it's a derivative. That's why it has such a strong component. Half of it's depression.
Gotcha.
Hi,
Okay.
Twilight. I think it's Twilight.
Nice.
But yeah, so because it falls underneath there, that's why there's a huge hefty part of it to it.
Okay.
So, mania is something that I've always been familiar with again, background, so that's why. And that just means like extremely elated. Also euphoria, feeling euphoric.
Okay. So,
And
like the
then
super
hypomania.
happy, nice. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, you're good. I mean, but yeah, really chip or I mean, we're talking about like extreme levels of it. And we'll touch base on that when we hit into the symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
But hypomania is the same concept where it's a high where you're feeling this elation, you're feeling really good, and it's high or and the mood swishy kind of thing back and forth, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not as extreme as mania, and that's the biggest difference.
So it's more happier than you normally be, but it's not like an extreme case of it.
Yeah, so you may have it to where you're not going for weeks on end in this. So duration is also part of it. So we're not week on end with mania. When we have hypomania, we may only experience for a few hours or a couple of days. And again, it's not as extreme high levels of that like euphoric aspect.
So my confusion on that is like, is it a type of happiness that is unwarranted or like there's no trigger to it? It just comes out of nowhere? Because there's nothing wrong with being happy. But I mean, if you take the George Carlin things, more than happy sounds like a clinical problem.
So there's more to it than that, and thank you for, bringing up that confusion. So it's not just the fact that you're just really feeling on top of the world like cloud 9. You're also so ecstatic that you're putting caution to the wind. So you start to
Oh,
indulge, yeah, into risky behaviors or your judgment is off.
it's like I'm indestructible. Watch me stand in front of this train.
Mhm. And then in these, mania and hypomania, you also start to experience some, what is it called? Oh, I just had the word and it slipped out of my mind.
Describe.
Uh, it it's well, it's bipolar. It's where, oh, activity levels. So during this aspect too, someone who's suffering with um, bipolar may also be feeling very energetic, can't rest, maybe dealing with insomnia because their mind won't shut off. So, and like you said before, there tends to be no necessary
Triggers.
no, hold on, yeah, there's no necessary triggers for it, but there can be if that makes sense too. But there doesn't have to be a trigger.
Okay, so the trigger is not a component to it, it's just the high and low. So the
Correct.
my thing is like what causes that high and low? Is it just your bipolar just going flip the switch this way, flip the switch that way kind of deal?
Basically, so one of the things that, again, and you'll find with a lot of different disorders, there's a lot of unknown.
Oh
We're
yeah, I mean
just
they're
seeing
still
that,
discovering and still exploring.
correct, and defining. And again, there's so many different components in it. And one of the biggest issues that I've always theorized for years when it comes to psychology is that we can't cookie cutter it like we try to do because everyone's so uniquely different. Everyone's personal experience and lived experiences are so uniquely different from each other that you could just be having the same thing but experiencing it just differently based on your realm of life, if you
Because
will.
everyone's like wired a little differently. So they like three people could
Yep.
be stage experiencing stages of mania, but they could be exhibiting it differently because of the way they act or their oh my brain interests and all that stuff. So like one person could be running around skipping in the flower bed, another person could be doing 12-hour game sessions and whatnot. So
Yep.
gotcha.
And it, and again, this they feel so good. They feel like they're, unstoppable. So they may engage in drinking or illicit drugs and things of that nature. It just it makes them feel like there's no stopping them.
Gotcha. Which is a concern, but also the weird thing too is if you're feeling good, why would you go see help? Because you're feeling good.
Yeah, which not ironically, but that is actually one of the causalities I hear often from the few people I do know who have, uh, um, I
Bipolar.
keep wanting to say one. Thank you,
You're
bipolar,
good.
is, when they feel good, they tend to not wanna take their medicine, or in some cases, some people stop taking their medicine, and
Uh
then it just gets worse.
being in the medical field myself, we call always tell patients, even if you're feeling good, finish all the antibiotics because you're feeling good means you're on the road to recovery, but you're not fully recovered. You have to finish the not treatment, it's another one, dosing. I can't think of the right words. Oh wow, all the words are
It's
escaping.
treatments, right?
But it's treatment over
'Cause
a
even if
time. There's a certain word for it, and I'll look it up later.
oh, okay. But yeah, and you're 100% right, or at the very least, speak with your doctor, especially when you're taking medicine for mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And I speak from experience. When your doctor finds out that you randomly stopped it on your own, they're not generally happy with you.
No, no, because they're evaluating you when you go to your next visit. Like, okay, well, they're on the medication and they're on the depression that you're taking as prescribed. So they're evaluating and going off that information. If it's misinformation, then what they go from there is going to be not correct.
Yeah, exactly. So, and again, so reflecting really quick about the mania and hypomania.
Yes.
So, mania is extreme, euphoric, full of energy, and that's what I knew I forgot a part of it. In the mania aspect, there could, and also hypomania, there is a irritability component too that could be at play.
So, like, what
So,
sometimes what they
um,
might look like is either abnormally upbeat, jumpy or wired, increased activity, energy, or agitation, like you just said, exaggerated
yes.
senses of well-being or self-confidence, decreased need for sleep, which is I find funny. Is like, oh, I'm so good, I don't need to sleep. I'm like, that's gonna hit you later.
Oh yeah.
Unusual talkativeness, racing thoughts, distractibility, which would make sense. Is like you're kind of just like jittering, so like everything's going at once,
Mhm.
and like you
Or
mentioned,
your mind.
the poor decision making. But your mind, what?
Sorry, back to distractibility. Um,
Sorry.
I You're good. My husband has a good concept behind this, and I say it's got a lot of accuracy, but I would have to verify to give that 100% answer. But think about, like, if you want to reflect to ADHD, their issue is prioritization and kind of going with what feels good for them in the moment, which is where that impulsivity comes from. So he always refers to it as chasing the dopamine. And
Ah,
so if you're in
gotcha.
these elated sites, your dopamine levels could be higher, and dopamines are feel good levels. So you're distracted because you're focused on what feels good.
That makes sense.
And then sorry about that, but you could continue.
No, no, you're good. I was just making sure I was hitting all the notes on that. Um,
You're good.
which it's
Oh, I was gonna
interesting.
ask.
Yes,
Sorry. I was gonna ask, could you please put on slide 2?
already done.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you.
I try. So, the what I was gonna say is too, it's I guess for the individual, would it be hard to perceive that they're having these issues? I mean, everyone knows like if they're
Yes.
depressed or not feeling good, it's kind of more apparent. But when you're having the high elations, I guess it would be harder to come or be aware of it because like, hey, I want to feel good. Why I'm feeling good? Why is this a bad thing?
Yeah, and you're 100% right. In fact, there is a lot outside of just these symptoms, but if you in a lot of different mental illnesses to begin with, where the sufferer often doesn't realize they're suffering right away. And that's
Okay,
another issue that we run into when it comes to individuals either accepting and seeking help or, working on themselves. Because if you don't know there's a problem or you don't feel like there's a problem, why would you want anything different?
exactly. Like if you don't know it's a problem, how do you fix it?
Yep, yep, yep. And then the other side, as you mentioned before, was depression. And we did cover this in one of our previous shows. And just to kind of give a quick overcap of that, that's
Mm-hmm.
anytime you're losing interest in things that you once liked or enjoyed doing, when you're feeling low, pressed down, kind of just meh. That's the
You're not
best way I
getting
always
you're not
have to.
getting your dopamine from what normally gives you your happy.
Correct. Correct. So, and it's basically the bipolar opposite of the you get these really high highs or these, pretty high
Yeah.
highs and then these lows and they just switch back and forth and again, there doesn't always have to be a trigger. Um I have my own personal theory. I think everything has a trigger, but sometimes those triggers are just really hard to know that they exist.
Or there could be just very subtle things. And like I know
Yep.
personally for me, we usually when I get into irritable or like what I call prickly, it's a lot of small things that
Yeah.
just accumulate into this big ball, and then it's just I don't know how to deal with the ball, so I just put my go grr, grip my teeth and put my lack of a better term, like my what cactus, the stinger thingies, quills,
Yeah.
spines. That's
I
the
don't know.
word.
It's quills. There we go.
It might be spines. Anyway, put those out. It's like I don't want to be bothered or deal with anything until like that passes.
Yeah, and I have that too. Um a, a lot. And again, so from what I have versus bipolar, it's hard to say if they feel that same way too, but that is interesting and I would like to, you know, ask someone that I know who has it to see if that's kind of something they experience as well.
I know for me, I had such a hard time trying to describe that. And then I just,
Yeah.
me and the significant other usually sit down and we'll talk and explain stuff. And she's gotten really well at speaking Oromese. She's been able to decipher and like knows all my mannerisms. Like she's been amazing with that.
Which is awesome.
Um,
I'm so glad.
and she's gotten to where she's the one that told me, if I'm not mistaken, she's the one that told me the word prickly, and that's the best way to describe it. I
Yeah.
couldn't think of the right way to describe or to whatnot, so I just told her like how I was feeling, how I like grit teeth and all this other. She goes like, you're a cactus, you're prickly. I'm like, yes, that's spot on, thank you. She is amazing with analogies and stuff of that nature.
He really is. I absolutely love it. We still to this day, Orem and his significant other came to visit about a year ago now, like coming up to a year ago.
Give or take.
And she had this phrase that she was using when we were all talking, where she just wave her arm in the sky like a rainbow and
Oh,
say communication. But
yep.
she said it differently. Messed it up now. We still
It was.
use that.
It's something that we've yanked from SpongeBob SquarePants. It does the
Oh,
hand
okay.
rainbow thing. He does the hand rainbow thing. I don't know if
Yeah.
he says communication. I think he says something else, but that's
Oh,
where
okay. So yeah.
we joked about we call we was getting on a T-shirt or something.
Communication.
Yep.
But yeah, it's awesome.
So going to the depression side, what are the five different types of the bipolar depressions?
Wait,
Oh wait, no,
what?
it's not depression. I'm
Oh,
sorry, I misread that. Sorry, I
I'm
saw it
like,
was
what?
under that category. I completely misread that. So the five different types of bipolar that are at least categorized as of this moment.
Okay, so yes, this comes from hold on. Yes, so this does come from the DSM-5,
Okay.
and categories they have, if I remember correctly, is actually, yeah, it is 5, but I have 4 listed. Okay. So yeah, they do have 5. There's bipolar 1 disorder. Ultimately, that is the ones where you're experiencing um
One
the manic
episode.
yeah, for oh my gosh, why am I having a brain dysfunction?
I have it right in front of me. Do you want me just to read it?
Go for it because I apparently can't.
You can't read or you don't have it in front of you.
I don't have it in front of me yet.
There we go. That's just solved that.
No.
Goes in there.
See?
So yeah, bipolar one is basically you have one manic episode that may be preceded or followed by hypomanic or major depression episodes. Maybe triggered a break from reality, psychosis.
Yeah, so that extreme aspect, especially that break from reality. Remember I told you you're chasing that dopamine
Mm-hmm.
concept and you just get locked into it and you can't help but just kind of lose yourself in that moment.
Right. You're basically just, I'm in the moment now. Let's keep going happier, happier.
Exactly.
Okay.
So bipolar 2, and thank you, that helped because I ended up closing out of it so I couldn't find it. Disorder is when an individual experiences at least one major depressive episode. So you got that low, and at least
Okay.
one hypomanic episode. So it's not the extreme one. It, so they never reach that extreme. So they'll never truly
They never hit
experience
the
the
manic level.
psychosis.
Gotcha.
Correct. Yep, exactly. And that's the difference between 1 and 2. So 1 is the more extreme higher highs and probably lower lows, but that's presumptuous right now.
Right.
And type 2 is not as high as those other highs.
Interesting. I do find it funny though, like medical wise, at least from my point of view, being in the pharmacy side of things, that the
Mhm.
ones are the most extreme and then it goes down versus counting up. Because with controlled medication, like stuff that's over the counter, it's like a C, oh my God, my brain, C6 or something like that. And then your semi controls behind the counters are like C5s. And then your highly controlled stuff are your C2s. And then your C1s are all the stuff that has little medical benefit but high addictivity, like cocaine and stuff like that. Where like
Yeah.
what was it, morphine and all that is a C2. So I find like the ordering here is the same thing where one is the most and then it goes downward.
Yes. Yeah, it is interesting, and I've noticed that as well, but I guess I never really thought of it in that capacity in comparison to, the pharmacy field. Before we go further, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm also slurring. Before we go further, or can we get slide 3 going?
Already done.
Oh, thank you, sir. All
Yep, yep.
right. So, but yeah, so the type 1 is like you said, is the stronger, more higher manic level, and
Right.
type 2 is the one for that. It's
Okay.
not as extreme. So then the third type is, I'm gonna probably say this horribly, but I believe it's cyclothymic disorder.
Sounds good enough to
Psycho.
me.
All right, we're rolling with it. So when someone has that type or that specific one, they experience at least 2 years or 1 year if they're teenager or younger, of many episodes of hypomania, so the lesser one, not manic, but lesser, and periods of depressive symptoms. So again, they're going up, down, and their downs are not as severe as major depression, where in type 2 and type 1 it can be.
Okay, so it's sort of like
Like
they're switching on and off faster or back and forth between them, but they're not as severe on and offs.
correct.
Yay!
And then the fourth one, which is I have it 4, but there's technically 5. There's specific and non-specific. So specific usually refers to, and then again, don't quote me 100% on this, usually refers to if it is brought on by something else, whether it's another disorder, like a actual physical disorder that can cause issues,
Okay.
or other medications and or illicit drugs. And then on specific is generally referred to when someone has a condition, but it doesn't fit the criteria on average, but it's not fitting anywhere else and it's not caused by anything else.
So, for lack of a better term, and not to be dismissive, it's a catch-all bin. It's like, okay, they're exhibiting all the signs,
Yep.
but it's not following the other categories.
Correct. And I think the worst part when it comes to bipolar disorder is that when we're going through these manic depressive episodes or just really depressed episodes, and we go to the doctor, we're normally going to the doctor for that depressive episode. Because again, like you stated, if you're feeling good, why you're going to go and say something's wrong because you don't really notice that you're doing something wrong at the moment.
It's like going to the doctor. I'm
Um,
perfectly healthy. I'm here anyway. I mean, theoretically, medical checkups every so often is a good idea, but if you're completely healthy, then why see the doctor?
exactly. So you're only going
Which
to
I
be
don't
going while
condone,
you're in
by
this
the way.
now.
Because I'll just say I don't
So you
condone not
only
going to the doctor. Go get your yearlies and all that other. I'm actually past due. Damn it.
so
Sorry. Go ahead.
keep rolling with the
I'm sorry. I just had that
yeah.
mental realization. Like, I'm past due. Shit, that's gonna go on the calendar now.
I was just I was just thinking hypocritter,
Hypocritter.
hypocrite.
Oh, ha ha ha.
But anyway, so we so you go only when you're feeling depressed, and 9 times out of 10, especially if you're going to your PC, private care, PCP,
Personal
they're
care
gonna try
provider.
to put thank you. They're gonna try to give you some antidepressants to help you because you're depressive, depending upon how long it's been going on.
Right.
They'll might so and then when you have type 1 bipolar disorder, antidepressants can put you in a manic state.
Because
And in
they're
fact,
elevating
when
your already elevated mood.
correct, and it like triggers it too. And they try not to give antidepressants to any individuals with bipolar, but they absolutely will not give if they know that the person has bipolar 1,
Right. Which is
because that's
hopefully
how bad it could be.
what a good doctor does. Now, there's not always a good doctor
Yeah,
out there, so mileage,
fingers crossed,
mileage
but
may
yeah.
vary. Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, let's mosey on to our next slide, sir.
All right. Boop boop boop, and then boop. I would find
Oh,
it
yeah,
funny. I'm
let's
gonna
go over
inject real.
these.
I'm about to say I was gonna inject
Go
real
ahead.
quickly though. A lot of times bipolar again too can be confused with like ADHD,
Yep.
BPD, clinical depression, schizoaffective disorder, because it's hard to diagnose properly without having all the info. And even if you have all the info, sometimes it's like there could be a misdiagnosed because a lot of stuff falls into same categories.
Exactly. Exactly, which is I think yeah, yep. And just really quick, ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. BPD is borderline personality disorder. Clinical depression is again major depression. Schizophrenia affective is anything that's has the concept of schizophrenic where you see or hear things that aren't truly there as a aspect of what you're experiencing.
Cool. You did that in record
Sorry.
time.
I'm just freaking proud that I could.
Good job.
Thank you. So yeah, I wanted to throw in statistics because they're fun, they're interesting to look at, and depending upon perspectives, it's always intriguing to see how people read these and what they take away. So,
Gotcha.
Orm, would you like to go back and forth and would you like to go back and forth and read the statistics?
Sure. All right. Do you want to do the first one?
Sure. 40 million people in the world affected by are affected by or it's right there and I'm still saying bipolar. I
It's
because
not
that's what I
worded
should be
properly because
saying.
the word,
Disorder.
yeah, yeah, the word R is not in there. So 40 billion out of what's the world's population right now, though?
Well, it's in the billions or trillion. Oh, well, in the world? Yeah. But that's the funny part. And that's why you have to be careful with statistics. So that's why I went with this. Thank you, Mind Help for and Mind Journal for your information or imagery. But statistics you have to be careful with and really look at what you're reading. It's very pivotal to say when it says in the world. But the average person doesn't necessarily read that and they just see 40 million and that sounds like a lot.
Well, it is a lot, and yeah, but in the grand scheme of it, and I posted the number because it's a large enough number. I don't know how many to pronounce.
Oh,
Is that 8 trillion billion? Nope. Hold up. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. It's been a while since I had to deal with numbers this big.
so it's 8,19,876,189
Thousands,
people.
thousands, millions, billions. Okay, so just gives a little perspective. Now, I'm not discrediting it. 40 million is still a lot of people. So, but like you said, statistics can be worded to express certain views.
It can be, or it's just misinterpreted. Like the best
Gotcha.
intentions could be made to make it, but it's misinterpreted.
So 2% people affected by bipolar at any point in time during a year.
Which I thought that was interesting because I read that and as anybody can experience bipolar, 2% of anybody can experience that in just a singular year.
So I'm going to
And I'm
assume
not
that 2% is 2% of world population, not because it doesn't specify.
it
As you
doesn't.
as you said about
Unless
this,
it
go ahead.
sorry, unless it's referring to that 40 million. So I'm not sure. And that's where it's a
Exactly.
little
I'm
so
just
then the
being
next
nitpicky
one
at the moment. Wow.
you
Next.
should be. And sorry.
You're
But no,
good.
you should be nitpicky. I'm very nitpicky, and that's one thing that I guess was kind of drilled in my head in college. Is that you should be nitpicky on what you're reading, where it's coming from, what's the perspective, how is the statistics written.
Exactly. See, I'm just anal retentive about word placement, word usage, and what emotion or what are you trying to get across.
Correct. And when you're reading statistics, it's supposed to be on bias and it should be given more factual. But again, as I've learned through psychology, you can very easily put an inflection on your words without obviously being biased.
True, because as much as you try to be unbiased, everyone is biased in one way or form, and you could try your hardest not to be, and
Correct.
you'll still come across because not only are you trying to be unbiased about your information you're providing, but you also have to realize that the people that are interpreting this information are going to be biased as well. So you can't control what they
Hmm.
interpret or read. So it's a lose lose situation almost.
Yeah. You're 100% right.
Woohoo! Say
That's
it again.
why you're
Sorry,
100% right.
I don't hear it that
But yeah,
often, so I like that.
that's why when we're doing like papers and research and all the other stuff, and especially when we're doing experiments and
Experimentation,
research papers that we're gonna yeah, thank you. One of
experimences.
the things that are I know, right? One of
Sorry.
the things that we cover that's like a moral concept for that field is to try to be unbiased as possible.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
All
You're
right.
good. Again, all the stuff that's been beaten into me.
All right. So you
So
did, I did, so you now.
2.9% of adolescents suffer from bipolar disorder.
Now,
Again.
theoretically, number wise, 2% doesn't sound like a big number, but when you do 2% of a really flipping large number,
Mm-hmm. But I mean, 42.9% of 40 million is still a pretty small number in totality. 2.9% of that 1 or 8 billion, so on and so forth, is actually not that much.
I feel like it's more than a million because it's hundreds, thousands, millions, billions. That seems off. I'm gonna double check that number later. But yeah, women are are more likely to suffer from bipolar stage 2.
So the less manic ones, the
More nope, it's not the cycle one because the cycle
yeah.
CYC, not just to clarify because auto captions will say the wrong word. The cyclo one is the one that
There you
flips
go.
on and off faster, where the other one is there they get the flips, but they're not as extreme.
See that C word one, I
Yes, that
feel is probably the one that's probably most often misdiagnosed as BPD because of how BPD can present. Sorry, just
BPD,
something I thought of.
bipolar
BPD,
disorder.
borderline personality disorder,
Gotcha. Okay.
versus BD. It gets tricky after a while.
Too many acronyms. Just say it out loud, or not. Just say the full thing.
I would, but I keep defaulting to the wrong one.
Uh, and then the last one.
The last one says highest percentage of severe impairment among all mood disorders.
So
Hmm.
basically, this one impairs the person more than any other mental disorders, or excuse me, mood disorders. That seems a little
Oh,
weird.
okay. That makes sense. So it's saying of all the mood disorders, which let's see, I'm gonna do a quick Google. But it's saying as of all of the mood disorders out there, that they are the ones that have the most impedance in their day to day.
Okay. I can see that for the type 1 where you have the extreme highs and extreme lows where you're either changing your behavior and taking more risk or you're being super depressed and straying away from your normal activities and your normal happiness. But I don't know if I
Yeah.
would. That's a very interesting statistic. I feel like that needs to be explored more.
Well, well, one of the things to find out what they're referring to is to see what other mood disorders there are. And so far, I'm reading just a list of like major depression, bipolar, the psychothymia,
Yeah.
D really disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, DID. That's interesting.
Hmm.
I see. I question that personally, but again, prospectively speaking, we don't know what it is in that side of stuff.
Right. We only got what they said. We don't have the statistical data, what the other thing too. And even then too, their data is based upon whatever sampling they picked from too. So that's the other thing.
True. Oh yeah, and that's the other part of statistics that makes it more fun
The
is to
sampling.
see where their actual yep, because that's very very pivotal.
I know we had the discussion at work about the whole. We had a customer asking about the side effects and all whatnot, and they're going over like the 2 paragraphs list of stuff, and they started getting concerned and like, well, we have that. When they do that, they have to put all that stuff down. So even though if the medication didn't cause it, if someone had flatulence during the trials, they have to put it down because they can't say whether or not it was or was not caused by the medication. So that's the
That's
sampling size of that versus like if they had like say if they had a bunch of people that were air quotes not flatulent, then I don't think that would have been as a side effect.
that's possible. But another thing too. So if you're looking at sampling sizes, if we go for or samples that are provided to people who are like doing their doctorate degree, for example, if you are going to the university and you're collecting samples outside of the university, your target audience is going to be limited to people who are either living nearby, working at, or is being educated at this in location.
Someone within your
The-
circle of influence.
Correct. So, and then when we try to take that logic and we apply it, well, we are for the first time in ever practically, we are able to reach all over the world almost. You know, if you got internet, you can be talked to with people anywhere else that have internet. And we want to try to take our sample sizes and add them into, you know, a bigger pool. But how are you going to do that? If you go, you know, I'm in so many groups that they look for people to help them with their papers and get samples for people taking little experiments online. But again, had I not already been looking for stuff of similarity, I wouldn't be there. So you're still pulling from a same kind of mental, or there's the same kind of likeness to it. It's not random enough. Does that make sense? I feel like I just babbled on and
You
maybe
no,
lost
you're good. I see
everybody.
what you're getting at. You're basically you're trying to state is the fact that your sample that you're picking from are people already interested in it versus being completely random, which is going to be a
Correct.
statistical impossibility because the fact of there's no way to get a completely random thing. There's always going to be a little bit of
That
bias.
is not true. Well,
Really?
again, so we're not looking for bias. Well, I mean, I guess it is bias.
I
Yeah, no, it's
mean,
not true.
a little bit, but
So
okay. But I mean, you can
in
theoretically get
large,
air quotes completely random.
so you can get damn near close. So and how they do it, and this is like for large. Again, it's shit that I've learned.
Large
But
studies.
yes, they will actually use a computer program, roll random dice, have that dice correlate to some number. That number correlate to a person's mailing address, and they will mail around the world. Now, things like that, that's completely like double blind random concept going on,
Okay.
unless you don't have an address.
Or unless you don't respond to it as well. If it's anyone like me, I'm
Correct.
very I don't want to
Yeah.
use the word antisocial. I just want to be left alone a lot.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't have the exact, but do you want to take a ballpark estimation of about how many people do not respond to those?
I'm gonna say 60%.
Yeah, it's around 60%. They do not get a
Woohoo!
lot of them. But again,
Gold sticker.
that does up the concept of random, but it also says, we're missing a demographic.
Yes, there is. And then we always joked at work as well. We always said the sample size of one or the whatnot. It's like, oh, this thing, I've had great things. Like, who else have you know? Oh, just me. I'm like, okay, sample size of one. Don't take it as, verbatim or, anything like that. Because a lot of times at work too,
Go
it's
ahead.
like, oh, did you try this thing? Oh, I loved it. We all try it at work and like, oh, this thing's horrible. It's like sample size of one.
Yep, take the word of one person. Which is why I have a golden three rule, especially in like, social environments.
Oh,
If more than three people agree to it, or at least three people agree to it, it's safe to give it a try. If less than three, don't bother. If more than three, you have a higher probability.
so I do that when I do any type of research or looking something up online. If I could find five or
Yeah,
more
that too.
websites that correlate with the same type of information, I'm more likely to follow that information. And if it's just one or two random sites, like, this seems shady. Like the weirdest thing. Can we do a side tangent?
Yeah, side tangent
I
time.
haven't done one of those in forever. Also, the wine is kicking in,
You
so I'm
got this.
feeling good.
Woohoo!
um, so as of late, I wanted to play some new games, and I came across a game. Again, not sponsored. Would love to be sponsored. Never doubt they ever will. Called Valorant. It's League of Legends first-person shooter thingy, and I've tried it. It's funky. I say funky in the
Okay.
sense of it's like every other first-person shooter, but their spin on it. The kick in the nethers, if you will, was the fact that I
Mhm.
had to go into my BIOS to turn on safe boot and something else. This way, the game's anti cheat thing would work. It took me
Okay.
5 hours, and I kid you not, at least 20 different websites to get the correct information for the motherboard, the BIOS, and all that other stuff. Because a lot of them said to do one thing and it seemed weird, so I went to check other ones and like you said, the sample sizing. So it took me to find,
Mhm.
okay, maybe I exaggerate with 20, excuse me, enough sites where it's like, okay, this made sense because I don't like fiddling with the BIOS and whatnot because you could brick your computer if you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
But it took me a while. And I
Weird.
finally played the game and I was not impressed. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm good.
all that for that.
Yeah. What the funny thing is too, and I know Serena, you're gonna love to psychoanalyze this later on, was the fact that like I got to the point where I said no, I'm annoyed, set all my settings back to ding, uninstalled everything, and then sat there for a second, like, mofo, it told me no, and I want to do this now, and I restarted my efforts in double because I was told no
Oh,
by a stupid program, and I don't like being told no, I can't do something.
that's funny.
It's one of the weird things. Like, if you
Oh,
want me to do something, it's like that reverse psychology thing. As long as I'm not aware it's a reverse psychology, I'll probably do it if it's something that I want to do. It's like, oh, I want to play this game. It's not working. Why? Okay, well, screw it. Nope, I want to do this now.
sorry. Sorry, I was distracted there for a second. But yeah, I have that whole pushback thing. It's interesting. We are going to analyze that Orem
That'd
if
be a
you,
funny show later
let
down the
me.
road.
Yes, swear. I would have so much fun analyzing you online.
Oh, dissected by Serena. That sounds painful and fun, I guess. Let's see what our viewers and people on our socials say. If there's a big enough interest, I will condone a show's worth of letting you do it, and I will answer truthfully, honestly, and all the fun stuff.
Ooh.
You quiver with anticipation. That's scary.
I want to do a voting system, but I don't know how.
We're not allowed to right now. We're not big enough.
What
Okay.
happened to the days where I just pop open a program, why or put a question in a couple of selections, and it just kept count? Like
There's
the
ways to do
days of
that, but
Gaia.
I don't have oh, Serena, don't age yourself there.
Oh, think about
Uh
that.
okay, so pulling back from that tangent. So I think we're on the how is it treated?
Oh, yes. Thank you. So, like I said, there are medications that we steer clear of generally, especially for type 1 bipolar. But in other cases, for type 2 and the other types, I'm assuming based on my research that they do allow antidepressant
Okay.
if I guess it's severe enough, but you cannot have type 1. So, I mean, I guess there's one way to know which type you have. Um, Sorry. So outside of that, we have, and then Orem, you can help with some of these words because they're
Oh.
pharmaceutical and that's your
Ooh.
specialty.
Oh, I
So I
see
know
already. Yep.
lithium.
So there's lithium, there's
Uh,
Depakote, which is valproic acid, there's Tegretol, which is carbamazepine, which all fall in the categories of mood stabilizers. A lot of times too, it just go off of that. A lot of doctors could what's called off-label prescribe. So they'll notice that a medication will have an air quotes side effect or effect on an individual that they're looking for, but the medication is not designed for that.
yep, I was given medication off label and it was bad juju.
Well, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good. Like what's the
Oh, I
funny
know.
thing?
My
Where
personal experience is
oh
bad.
yeah. One of the funnier medications, if you will, the little blue pill, if you will, was actually intended to
Mhm.
be for like blood pressure and whatnot. Unfortunately, it made all the blood go
Yep.
to a certain spot, and it did it so well that they actually reclassified the drug to do that versus the blood pressure. Now, I have noticed people that do take it as a blood pressure supplement or for like different types if the doctor specifies otherwise. And it's always fun to see them come in and ask for that medication, and then you know how they like there's always that stigma of like, oh, you need the blue pill because whatever reason. Like, no, they're doing it because they need it
Yeah.
for blood pressure, not that. So yeah, so the weird thing is like the off-label uses, if it's used enough times for off-label, it becomes its actual label use. um
It does over time. Yeah. If there's enough good aspects to it.
let's see
Because,
here. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, that'll be another story. That's why I
Gotcha.
stopped.
In conditions with psychotic symptoms, antipsychotics may be prescribed. Antidepressants could be used for depressive disorders, but often avoided. I know there's a lot of medications that have like do not use if this right on the packaging label, so that's always nice as well.
That's good.
And I realize I took the reading away from you. If you want to continue, sorry.
No, you're good. You like I said, so this part is more up your alley. So, Orm,
Mm-hmm.
and do you know anything particularly about the valporic acid and the carban? Those,
Carbamazepine.
yeah, that one.
So the funny thing about the things in themselves is the wording. Like brand name drugs are worded in a way that's easy to recognize and say, versus the generics, which are basically just the chemical names of the medications. Like Depakote's the brand name, valproic acid is the actual drug name, Tegretol is the brand. It's easy to say versus carbamazepine. Um,
Yeah.
in how can I put this politely, or should I not? I'll put it somewhat politely. The area that I work in, I see a lot of this type of medication because of the type of demographic I live in.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say I'm familiar with the medication in of itself. I just know it's prescribed quite often.
Yeah. I mm,
Sorry.
I mean, if you're not putting it bluntly or nicely or whatever the heck, I think that there's a lot of misdiagnosis.
Oh yes. I mean that goes without saying. Again, it's hard to diagnose properly. It's also hard
Mhm.
to find a good doctor that will take the time to do it. Because like any other job, you want to get as many people in and out to earn as much money as possible. So finding good
Yeah.
doctors
No,
and
true.
finding good medical professionals is such a chore.
It is. And I like lithium. Not like just it is what it is. There's no fancy words about it, nothing,
It works
because it's an
for
actual
you.
damn metal.
Well, it's got other. I see what you're getting at, but yeah.
Yeah. The active ingredient.
So
But yeah.
just for clarification for some of our viewers and listeners out there, lithium in this sense is properly made to be ingested. Do not eat lithium batteries
And metabolized.
for the love of the powers that be. Please do not do that.
Oh God. I
You
didn't
didn't
think
even think
about
about
that.
that.
Please don't. Well, we
That's
are
how
mature audience, hopefully.
I was about to say that's the way my brain is wired. Where that's the things I think about and like whatnot. It's just so weird.
See, Orm, I'd like to tell you something. I'm going to share this with you.
And apparently everyone else listening and watching and all the future people watching because this is going to go on the YouTube channel later.
I do know that, but this is more for you than anyone else. The fact is, sometimes those thoughts in our head should be kept there. Because what if they didn't think about it and you just gave them a thought?
I told them no, so I'm not held responsible. Just because I said no doesn't mean is that it's like also don't take
Covering
the
all
hair
bases,
dryer
got
into
it.
the shower with you when it's plugged in. It does not work that way.
Or the toaster, don't eat while you're bathing either.
Oh, slight tangent.
Hmm.
The wine is
I
doing
wouldn't answer, but
fine.
I
Rephrase
the wine.
restate your question in a second. So I forget who does this, and I wish to give them proper what you call credit, but I can't remember who. It was on my short I was watching, and they made a bath bomb, and it's in shape of the toaster, and
Okay.
the label says the final bath bomb. I know
So
that's the
cute in a
entire.
messed up way.
It's gallows humor, dark humor.
Uh,
Uh,
I have an appreciation for that.
yeah, in the right time, in the right context, gallows humor could be very funny. In the wrong time, you get very side eyed and ask, "What's wrong with you?" And then at that point, you say your girlfriend is the one that has that type of humor, and it's rubbed off on you like a very, very fun way.
A happy bunny?
Sure, like a happy bunny rubbing against you, and then all of a sudden you have dark thoughts.
Oh, that's so bad. All
Exactly.
right, moving
All
fastly.
right, off the
Fast
side
forward.
tangent. Back. Okay,
So I'll start reading the next part
go ahead.
because, so there are three types of psychotherapy which is used to help treat people with bipolar disorder.
Well, it's
We
also
have
not just a
cognitive
treat; it's
behavior.
to cope and understand as well. Sorry.
It is mostly that, but thank you.
I apologize. I'm like reading the
You
documentation. I'm like,
see, it's the downside when you write it. You know it, but you don't think to say it.
because you think that everyone else knows it as well, and they don't.
I know. I know.
Not everyone's as smart as you, Serena.
I don't think I'm as smart as you think I am, but thank you.
Well, I like to give you more credit than you deserve because then it helps you elevate.
Wait, wait, what?
I like to give you more credit than you deserve because I think it helps you elevate and then you reach that level. Does that make
So you're
sense?
pandering to me. Oh no, it makes a lot of sense. I'm just offended.
I don't think it's pandering. I think it's how can I put it? It's not pandering because you
Who's
get
a
the
good
praise that you
doggy?
should,
Who's a
but
good
also try
doggy? Sit. You can sit. Oh no, you said you girl. You said that. Look, I knew you could do it. That's what you just did. You said that you
No,
give me props that you don't think I deserve. What the
I
fuck?
didn't say that you didn't deserve that. You more than deserve. Like you get your props, and then I give you a little extra on top of it. It's like a little cherry on top of the Sunday of appreciation and acclamation.
I don't know. Maybe I'm binking right now, but I feel like that's insulting.
Not intended, but I apologize if you take it as such.
I don't want the participation trophy.
Well, you're doing more than participation.
Good. Back to the therapy.
I think we both need therapy at this moment.
eh, I've been there a few times.
Never have.
Anyway, well,
Let's
there's
read and
two
continue.
answers I have. Okay. So, cognitive behavioral therapy. That is a psychotherapeutic treatment that helps people learn how to identify and change destructive, because I can speak, or disturbing thought patterns and or that have negative mother duckers that have negative influences on their behavior and emotions. This is why I didn't want to read, but now you're having me read because you're reading, and now I feel like, dang.
Well, you don't have to read verbatim. You could paraphrase.
I know I was doing that, but then I missed the spot. So now I have to read verbatim because my mind's going, do it or you're going to fail.
There is no failure. As long as you're giggling and laughing, we are entertaining. We're also giving information. We're checking off all the boxes of what the show is supposed to be doing.
Woohoo!
I feel like I
So,
should have more
cogn
drinks or more wine during the next couple of shows.
you feel cool like a cucumber?
Um, sure.
Cool. Cognitive behavioral therapy. It ultimately helps you rethink your thoughts so you can change the behaviors you do not like. Family focused therapy. It helps people come together and kind of alleviate the symptoms of the moods because they can't do it now. I can't paraphrase.
You got one more to read. You can do it. I have faith in you. And no, I'm
I
not
finished that
pandering.
one. It feels like it. I've been giving new data. You told me this before too. And the messed up part is I didn't think about it like that until now. So it's like it's not new information, just differently received.
Yeah. It's all about perspective.
Family focus. Yeah, tell you it's a bitch. Family focus therapy. See, I'm sorry. It's side tangent.
If you want to, sure. I've done two or
Question
three.
mark. Okay. At least just leave me hanging. You could say no.
I could say no, but this is more entertaining. Go ahead.
All right. So side tangent. Fuck. Forgot my side tangent.
Is it actually a side
Serena's
tangent or
brain.
is it just adjacent now? It's not even touching the topic.
I think it's a freaking jetpack away to sea. Yeah, flight of the
Ah,
moon. Why am I having such a moment? I know why I'm having a moment.
because I'm triggering you?
That's what I was gonna say. A little bit. Yeah, you hit my sore spots, man.
I'm sorry. Wasn't
No.
intentional.
Oh, I know. Believe me, that's the fucked up part. You remember what we talked about when you feel a certain way and you can't stop feeling that certain way, but you can rationalize it, but you still have it with where you get prickly?
Yeah, it's the whole we call feelings and thoughts. I to me are two separate things. You can thought, you can rationalize and all that fun stuff. It would make sense. Feelings to me are such weird and strange things. Like if you see the color red and it pisses you off, you're allowed to feel that way. My brain's like, why? It just does. But why? So like the whole like you're saying the whole I'm trying to give you praise and you feel like it's pandering. You're allowed to feel that way. I can't say it's invalid because that's your feelings. Everyone's allowed to feel what they want. My brain's just why?
Why do I feel like it's pandering?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get deep into Serena's brain. You ready?
Let me go get
And
a
this is
hard hat and some
ironic.
rope. How? What?
I'm
Oh
going to
wow! I was
bring a
about to say
bucket.
something horrible. I was about
Thank
to
you
say how
for
deep.
thank you for not. What
Too
the
late.
fuck? Anyway, all right. So Serena, she has issues. As
All right, let's
I have
let's let's
led
close
on.
up on Serena. Hold up a second. All right. This floor is yours.
No, because I have wonky eyes while I'm saying this. This is gonna be worse. At least when we're both like,
Work on your
look at that.
lighting.
Okay. I'm under the freaking light. I don't know. Unless I put like the sun in front of me.
So
Pretty
for
bright in
proper
here.
lighting, just on this, by the way, you have to have light that's either directly focused at you, this way it reduces shadows, or like most people do, have two different lights on the left and right that focus at them. Usually soft lighting, this way it's not hard shadows or creases, and that'll help with the face recognition and the tracking.
Hell yeah.
I know. I'm just telling you the we call it the behind the scenes part of it. But yes, as you're saying, deep
I'm
into
putting
Serena's brain.
my
Let's hit the
phone like
cortex. Let's tickle the cortex.
cough.
Cough.
I feel like you would cough.
I don't know. I feel like if someone tickled my cortex, I'd spasm.
Maybe. That sounds probably more accurate. But anyway, back to this. If I could ever keep a freaking thought. What were we talking about? Oh, you triggered.
Oh, my liver. Oh, my onions.
So, so you hit nerves. There were so many things I wanted to say that I legitimately have forgotten. Like the
Okay.
whole thing related to the topic tonight was one of them. And then I
Oh,
was gonna take that and put it to what I wanted to say now. But now there's a whole new thing, and I keep talking over you. Hi, Lauren. What do you like to say?
I will say, let's save that for a personal discussion then. I don't know if you want it on show or not, and then we can get back to the finishing this up.
Yeah, let's do that because at this point it's just better because we
Fair
were
enough.
about to go to places.
We'll save that
Oh
for
my god,
another
we have to
show.
do that. There we go. One for you, one for me.
Neat. Yay, water.
Oh, where are we?
Take a breather.
Oh, focus.
Stretch.
Family focused therapy.
Yep.
So this is often used with patients with bipolar disorder because it helps them to focus on alleviating mood symptoms, relapse prevention, and enhance psychosocial functioning. And again, it's family focused, so you're thinking about those whom you live with, and normally they're also partaking in therapy as well to kind of learn how else to help you and how you can help them with things that they're struggling with.
All right. There you go.
And then the third type of therapy is known as interpersonal and social rhythm therapy, which was interesting because I hadn't really heard of this one before. So this one was new to me.
Okay.
And it helps people learn to regulate their moods using their natural biological and social routines. So from what I looked into, and in full disclosure, it wasn't a whole lot of time spent on it, but it was more along the lines of really learning about the person's life and the dynamics of people who they talk with, how they go about their day to days, and kind of helping them take key points of that and contributing it to what they're thinking and feeling to alter and navigate to what they want to be more doing, if you will.
Gotcha. So it's basically taking your normal social routines and using that as a way to, I guess, I don't want to say the word stabilize, but to basically reset mood and get them back to their normal condition versus having the highs and the lows.
Mm-hmm. Maybe look for triggers in that area. Maybe noticing aspects where they need to get more rest. And
Okay.
again, I have not really looked into it.
I was about to say, I like the family focus one because usually when you have more than one person helping out, there's that interconnectivity and social, I don't want to say the word social dependence, but it's like social back and
Network
forth network.
system.
Thank you. That'll help you. Like, I know a lot of people when they do exercise, if they have people they exercise with, they're more likely to do it than by themselves.
Mm-hmm. And it's actually a term used, by the way, in the field is social networking systems. They are
Cool.
anyone that is in your networking system that you can support or, it gives you support and you can depend on to some level or another.
Gotcha.
And then
Oh,
I believe the last little bit is our fun facts for the night.
oh, random facts. I don't know how fun they are.
Yeah, you know, now that I look at the document, I remember why I didn't use the word fun, but I went and said before I looked.
It's all right, Serena. All right. So, some random facts, if you will, everyone. Often individuals with BP are not aware how their condition affects them or others. I'm sorry, I took a sip of water. I was hydrating. I was doing a little bit
No, because I saw you autocorrect what I wrote, and that's the only reason I'm laughing.
because I know how the words come out onto the paper and how they should be read. Did I do it
Mm,
wrong? Head tilt?
no.
Can I tilt my? I can tilt my head.
Well,
Yay!
because when you say
Ooh, pop
when
something
you say
popped.
or,
Ow.
it's
Sorry.
when you use or is one or the other, and is both.
Well, yeah. So it affects them and or others.
There you go.
It could also disrupt sleep because if you're manic depressant, you are overthinking and overanalyzing and you can't sleep. Or if you're super manic, is like you don't want to sleep because you have all this bound up energy that you want to go do things.
Exactly.
Can cause confusion between right and wrong. Now that one I find a little weird, and I
So again,
kind of would
remember we
like
were
a little bit
talking about
clarification. Yeah, go ahead.
on it. You remember we were talking about those manic where you're chasing the dopamine and you get so, again, when you're feeling good, you just want to keep feeling good.
Right.
So you start to focus on that desire, that want, that need, that your body is somehow kind of helping you irrationalize it, and it's hard for you to decide what's right and wrong. Well, I know taking meth is bad, but it makes me feel good. I want to feel good kind of concept.
I guess I see that. And my again, the rational part of my brain is like, I don't think I've ever been in a situation where, okay, I don't think I was ever in a situation where I was feeling so good I was doing dumb things. But I've been in
Which
situations
is
where I was feeling horribly depressed and I was doing dumb things. So,
That would be major depressive, and
okay,
that's why you're not bipolar.
gotcha. Okay, that makes a little bit more
Because
sense. It's just my brain just from my personal experience, survey of one, if you will. I just never been like so hyped up and energetic. Like, let's go do something stupid. I'm usually the voice of reason, which is weird.
yes, which interesting. We'll divulge in that in another time. And yes, that was my word. Take it.
Noted.
Hold on. I forgot to mute the mic that time. I was in the middle of talking. Um, but yeah, that's the thing. It's really hard for certain people to take on perspectives, and even harder for many others to take it on as well as to feel it. And you know, if you can put yourself in that person's perspective and incorporate that emotional component, which can be hard for some people in general, um, you get an understanding of it more than if you don't have that one or other connection.
Okay, then. And then the
And I
next
don't
one.
know.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I've been with you. I've been with you inside um that candy video game shop we used to go to at the square.
Phrasing.
You said phrasing?
Phrasing. I've been with you inside. I'm like,
But
inside of what?
oh,
All right. So we're talking about
that
the candy
shop.
slash game shop. Yes.
I am pretty sure I've seen you be excited and overindulge with purchases.
But would you
Because you got to
consider
remember,
that
there's different
manic or
levels.
hypomanic?
Oh, I'm definitely not manic at all.
Okay, then.
You
But would
haven't
you
done it to
consider
the point of.
the point of what?
Go ahead. Oh, you haven't done it to the point to where it's detrimental.
Fair enough,
And I think that's the issue.
because I'm saying because I know I have budgets and all that stuff. I know I've had choice paralysis. It's like, oh, I want all six of these things, but I can only afford one. Which one do I pick? And then 2 hours later, I'm still staring at all the boxes. But everyone's annoyed and wants to go home.
Yeah, I've done that. And I think that's the another signifier too. Because if you are someone who is experiencing bipolar, um you would get into those states and your budget wouldn't matter anymore because you're validating it for a different reason.
So the thought process would be, budget doesn't matter. This is bringing me the dopamine. Let's keep the dopamine flowing.
Mhm. And again, that's kind of like a really, harsh and black white concept outline, but there's obviously different components and different triggers, if you will. But yeah, ultimately that's the concept behind it.
That makes sense. I mean, again, too, that's just using my personal life and my personal triggers to better explain it.
Mhm. Yep, which
Uh,
also helps you to better understand it.
Yay! I hope it helps the audience as well.
Yes.
Let's see here. In 2021, 2.8% of American adults experienced bipolar, which going back to the other one, let me go back to that. 2.9 adults. So 2.9 in 2021. And let's see here. It doesn't give a date on that other one for the statistic. Interesting. We'll look at that later.
I yeah, I was gonna say
Okay, and then the last random fact. If you want to take that, Serena, or do you want me to tackle it?
I could take it if you want.
Go for it.
Or not.
Calm down. She's gonna go choked up about it.
I was just so emotional. I got the last one. Okay. It is common for individuals with bipolar disorder to stop taking medicine. Oh, I said that already. When they feel better. However, this is not an ideal action, and to talk with your doctor first before deciding to go without.
Okay. Yeah, we've talked about that topic a bit, but so yeah, finish your medication, take it as prescribed by doctor. Theoretically, the doctor should know best. Um, WebMD, well, random websites are not the best at describing it, and it's better to have a medical professional than just say, "Hey, I looked it up on Google."
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a touchy
Unless you're,
topic.
I mean, come on. I'm sorry, but you can get actual research articles off of Google.
You
For the record, I've done
can,
that multiple times.
but I've dealt with individuals that have did a study of one online website and told me or told the
Yeah.
pharmacist the dumbest of shit, and we kind of just stare them like,
Yeah,
no, and they're gonna walk away and do it anyway, and we've done our part. We're like, we just told them no. So
of course.
again, everything with a grain of salt, unless you have high blood pressure, then skip the salt. Sorry, medical joke. Um,
I got it.
yay. Uh,
So I wanted to touch back on something really quick because I finally got the website open because I thought to look at it and find
okay.
one. Um, we were talking about mood disorders before and how we or that statistics
Bipolar is the
stated
most
that.
most disruptive.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
Sorry.
here is the list of mood disorders. We have MDD, which is major depressive disorder, bipolars, all of the ones that we have listed tonight. Then we go into more depressive disorders, um, with and without substance and medications. Excuse me, my throat tonight. And then the newest five added in the DSM 5, I'm sorry, not the newest five, the newest three added in the DSM 5 of mood disorders are disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, persistent depression or depressive disorder, premenstrual what the heck? I can't pronounce it disorder. And we did talk about that last time. No, I think we might have skipped that. But either way, so those are all your mood disorders and it was me misquoting and I want to correct myself and I apologize. I was calling all of this depressive disorders, which is the wrong term. Depression actually falls under a mood disorder and I used
Ah,
it in the wrong capacity. So your depression, your bipolars, and a handful of other stuff that is similar to depression all are mood disorders. So by that technicality, the article is more accurate.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being wrong as long as you're open to the mind of like, hey, I was wrong. I got new documentation. Let's reevaluate.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go and double check what was classified as mood disorders, and that's when I realized that I made the boo boo with calling all of them depressive disorders. And just for my own kind of like reason, if people want to know why I made that mistake, is because a lot of these mood disorders have the word depressive in them.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like they're all depressive disorders, but that's technically wrong.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, too, classification can change and whatnot because I believe one of our topics was the fact of like, didn't ADHD get reorganized into a bunch of different ones as well because they got more clarification and more
Yes.
understanding?
That one I feel the most like annoyed with on a personal note against myself.
Why is that?
I have been studying psychology for, oh God, over
Long
10
enough.
years now. Oh God. Oh, anyway.
That's a thought.
Yeah, it is. But throughout all of my education, which again, all of my stuff comes from research and education, not once did it tell me that it fucking looped them all together. So I had a discussion with somebody on Facebook, and they were informing me how I was wrong. And at first, I took a very, like, steadfast approach. I was like, wait a minute. I know better than to be pigheaded. I'm going to do my own research. And then I sent an apology.
Well, at
I
least
was
you
like,
sent an
damn, I'm
apology.
so sorry. Well, yeah,
Well,
because I'm very much against giving out false information knowingly.
what about unknowingly?
Um, it's okay to do it unknowingly, assuming that once someone brings it up to your attention,
And proves the
you
facts.
correct it. Correct. And if you're gonna broadcast it, double check it first.
Or at least, later down the road, if stuff changes, whatnot, like we said, stuff is going to change. As of the time that we're doing this is what we know, and take it from there. And we can always revisit stuff if stuff's been changed, and if there's a request to revisit stuff. Like, we're always open to our viewers and listeners to just say, hey, I like this topic, but can you go more in depth? Or hey, we have this interest in this topic. Can you mind going about it? It's like, we'll put it into the rotation. I mean, that's always the fun stuff. Hit our socials up. We're watching, we're listening most of the time, maybe.
Yeah.
uh,
So I do believe that ends our current discussion, unless anyone has questions regarding bipolar disorder.
I need to learn. I'm typing the wrong window here. Sorry. So the weird thing is, I feel awkward typing as the in your corner chat versus my own, just because the show is both of us, and I don't want to speak for both. I don't even speak for myself. That's why you're on your account, I'm on my account. If that makes sense.
It does.
Separation. My brain
Woohoo.
compartmentalizes a lot.
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right, so let's take a look and see here. So I guess on that note, I don't see anyone responding. Kind words.
Let's do it. Do it.
All right, so I need to swap a few things. Let's transition that. Go here. Swap
While you're
that over
doing
to
that, I
that.
have a question for you.
I'm already done. What's up?
Wow, you already had it prepared. Never mind.
Yeah, I am that quick. I'm on the ball.
Ninja. I was gonna say, did anything that you learned tonight was like shocking to you, or like?
I realized that I know there was the highs and lows. I didn't know there was like, if you, for lack of a better term, medium highs and medium lows, if you will. So
Yeah.
there was that part.
I was even like, I've heard of hypomania, but I've never actually researched up until recently of what it meant. So, yeah, that was new to me too.
I know
Makes
there's different
sense. Weird.
classifications, but I didn't realize there was the cyclophymatic one, which is just on off, on off, on off. At least that's the way my brain's
Yeah.
interpreting it.
No, that's
Interpreting?
how it is referenced to. Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Interpreting. That's why I said
So,
I think that one probably gets confused with BPD the most, because BPD has a randomized mood swinginess to it,
gotcha.
and if not fully understood, it could be potentially misdiagnosed.
True. And I felt like a lot of the
Yeah.
statistics were just numbers there to give awareness, if you will, but I feel like just
Yeah.
random, if you will. So, But statistics are weird.
Yeah. They are. I only include them because, some individuals, including myself, likes to see number representations.
Well, it gives a
Which is
kind
why I
of
like to always,
sense of scale, if you will.
yeah, versus just words in the ether.
True. Okay. Let's click start.
Hey, look,
Someone-
speaking of kind words.
Yep. Someone sends their thanks for the letter you wrote, and We got a sticker. Oh, that reminds me. Sorry.
Yay!
Where am I?
Chicken bomb ball used in a popular sport in some places.
That should help you now.
First hand. Thank you.
So I sent you on Discord. So there you go.
Yeah, I know. I said first hand.
All right, that still disturbs me. I mean, I like the idea of it, but it's still just like random deer head through your window.
Who wrote last time? I really
Your
need
request.
to break
There
the
you go.
bad habit of
That was me.
staking
Read with to the rest of the class now.
up late. What? Oh,
Read out loud to the class.
staying. I'm working on it. It looks like there's a K.
Where?
A habit of staking up late and not going to bed.
I did typo it. Dang, damn it. That's staying.
I got that now. I often end up sleeping on the couch just because I can pass out with the TV on. I know it's good for I know it's not good for my back and sleep pattern, but having a hard time just placing myself in bed.
Which, by the way, I've done pretty well. I have lapsed a few
Yay.
times, especially last night. I was up to 4:30 in the morning watching anime, and I was like, okay, I'm tired of sitting on my chair. I'm gonna put this on a portable hard drive, go to my living room, click it up to the entertainment center, and watch the anime there. I got so far as turning my computer off, walking to the couch, and promptly falling asleep. It was like I was
Well,
wrist deep, or excuse me, elbow deep in the anime, and it's just like I didn't want to stop watching, but it's also like it's 4 in the morning and I need to go to bed.
no, I get that. But of the whole entire, what was it? It's been about a month, right? You said that.
It's been a couple of weeks.
How many times during that span did you actually sleep in your bed?
So when
Yeah.
we first started, it was, let's see here, for the first 2 weeks, it was straight to bed I went. I started slipping
Okay.
so often, or I'd sit on the couch, watch TV, because I turned my computer. I started what I was doing was I realized what I was doing. I was turning my computer off earlier than I usually would, and then go watch TV, and then promptly pass out there. So it wasn't like going from directly to TV to couch to go to. I mean, from computer to TV. Words from computer to couch to go directly to sleep. I was watching something in air quotes passing out on the couch. Last night was the whole okay, I went directly to the couch to sleep.
Huh. Was that the first time of that nature?
Once or twice. So it's a sliding slope. But I feel like it was because of I didn't have the accountability, if you will.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was starting to slip. On the reverse coin of that, Serena, how have you been doing with your medication?
Miserably.
Good job.
It's a weird thing, and I've been really trying to analyze what's causing it. But it's like the moment that there was a structure to it, I started fucking up.
Yeah, both our brains are definitely wired. I love the structure. You like the free willy-nilly, if you will.
Yeah, I do. And I think it's because if there's that free willy-nilly concept, I don't feel like I'm letting someone down. All right. Letter from C or G, I can't tell. I think that's a G.
That looks like a G. So let's open.
I get to read your answers.
Oh, you want to read them? Okay.
Yeah, that way it's like I'm reading it to you. And then when it's my turn, you read it to me.
Okay.
How about trying some exercise? Any kinds of exercise may work. You can do it step by step instead of completely wearing yourself out. That's good advice, by the way.
That is pretty good.
I also troubled by this problem. I usually play so much phone and watch my silly videos, just don't want to sleep. Recently, I may try to create fifth to cut my energy. Am I saying that
try
right?
to create STH. I'm not sure what that is.
Or Sith?
Stuff, maybe?
Like drawing, writing, maybe.
Create stuff. I think
trust you.
there's. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Like a shorthanded? You're
Yeah.
good. So trust you can make it and hope you can feel better. Best wishes. That's really sweet.
That is very sweet. Yeah, I think they were trying to shorthand it because there's no spacing between a lot of the punctuation. So I think they tried to pour
Yeah.
as much as into as they can, which I love that, which means they actually cared about responding. So that's wonderful. Um, with the exercise, I have to be careful because I do live on the third floor, so I don't want to. I want to be respectful to my neighbors, not only next to me but below me as well. So, like, my first thought was like jumping jacks and stuff of that nature because they're easy to do and they usually wear me
Yeah.
out. But I'm just like, yeah, three in
Easy
the
to
morning
do.
jumping in my apartment would be a big no-no. I'd have people questioning my sanity. But doing
Yeah.
stuff that's not as loud might be an idea. I didn't even think about exercise because not only does that mean I'm tiring myself out,
Yoga.
I'm actually stretching. Interesting. That might be on the to-do list.
It's especially because you said, because you're sleeping on the couch and your back is sore. Yoga to be yogurt. Yogurt's tasty too, but yoga would be great to kind of stretch out yourself out and get some
Flexibility.
comfort with it.
That too.
Yeah, that one.
I sent them a balloon stickers. That was nice of them. All right.
Yeah.
You want to read this as well, or can I read?
If you want to, go for it. If not, I'll take it.
I'll read it. Staying up late does more of the unwanted effects. Why not take some time to reflect on what's keeping you up at late? Is it necessity? I hope you find ways to get things done more quickly to have more time left in the night. It's not like I'm not getting my stuff done. I think, again, that's a good thing too. Find out the reason why and then address it. I think my issue is the fact of I don't want to go to bed because I feel like I'm missing out or I could be doing more stuff. Like I could play one more game or I could read. I would love to say if I could read one more book. I really need to start reading books more. Um, but yeah, finding the
I
reason
miss that.
why, or just the fact of why am I not going to sleep in my bed? Is there something about my bed I don't like or whatnot? So that might be it. I have to look into that.
I can help you because that's also sound. That's uh, seeing if there's a psychological component to it.
True. Let's give them pants fish.
Panfish.
All right, and then you want to read the next one?
Okay.
Go for it. Ooh, new sticker.
Melder. A kind friend. I've also been struggling a lot with sleep. What I found is that allowing yourself time to wind down is super important. I, a couple hours before bed, brew up some tea, do some reading, and it's a lot easier to get into the right headspace for it. Whatever gets you relaxed. We aren't built for constant stimulation, you know?
They're not wrong, and I think that's the other thing too, where I
Mm-mm.
realize if I cut the computer before going to bed hours behind, I do realize I get kind of sleepier. But my thing is, I go directly from the computer to the TV, and I don't have a way of stimulating the brain or whatnot, or keeping me occupied, if you will, before bed. That's not the computer, electronic, or something. And I think that might be part of the issue, whereas like I kind of want that constant stimulation. I can't sit here and do absolutely nothing. It
Oh,
drives me
oh.
insane. Yes, yes.
I don't know about your significant other, but if they're okay with it, have you ever thought of like ambient noise machines, like with like crickets or oceans?
I've thought about that because I do have a tablet and I do have earbuds that are connected to the tablet, but I always get the feeling I'm gonna roll over onto the tablet and break it or drop the tablet. I don't want to do something that's not earbud related because I don't want to disturb them either. But I could ask them about that and just see like some ambient noise machine or whatnot, and see like if
Yeah,
something that.
especially if something that. Oops.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say something that could benefit the both of you.
True. I have to ask them because I know um, they don't like to be disturbed during their sleep.
Yeah.
Let's send them a thumbs up.
You just
Alrighty then.
get
So
that
that's all of
done.
those.
You just get that done.
So Serena, is there anything that's bothering you or troubling you that you want to put out there? Or do
Hmm.
we want to view the request first?
Let's give a request and I'll think of something.
But first, airplane. One or two? Pick one.
Two.
Two. No matter what you are going through, you are strong enough to get past it.
Hells yeah.
All right, so let's view some requests. I'll let you read these.
I know I should go to bed, but instead linger for hours, not wishing tomorrow to come. Because I know there's only tedium and frustration on the other side. What's something to look forward to make the week worth anticipating?
Oh, that's
We
almost
could
the
try to.
same vein as mine, but only mine is like I don't want the day to end. They're dreading the following day or the next day. Do you want to respond to
Yeah,
that one?
I think we could. I want
All
you to
right.
respond to this one
You want me to respond to this
based on
one?
what you've learned.
Okay. Based
Yeah,
on what I learned,
because it
did
is
I
up your
learn
alley.
anything?
You went to bed more often than not once you started this, so yes, you
That's
did.
true.
You've evaluated some aspects. You have stuff to evaluate. Of course, you're learning stuff.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to type and try not to typo as much as possible.
I don't know how I missed the K last time, but I'll be paying more attention.
Sorry, I'm trying to type fast as not to take up time, but also trying to be like nice about it.
Yeah, I know. And I'm sure if I went to read over it, it may distract you. And if you're anything like me, just random talking distracts me.
True. At least that's not as bad as some other people. Like I've known people that will type, and if you talk to them, they will type what they're saying instead of what they're trying to type. Or I've known people that do it when they're
Yep.
conversation. If they're trying to say something, you start talking over them, they'll start repeating you, which is weird.
Yep, I'm one of those people. I can no longer break away from two different aspects of distraction. Oh, very poetic.
I've been actually trying.
I like it.
All right, so just to read out loud, best thing.
It's good. Keep going.
The best thing I can suggest is to look forward to the positive things
Alright.
in the following days. Follow. OMG. The best thing I can suggest is to look forward to the positive things the following days can bring. And it does not need to be large things, just simple things like how the little butterflies float about, the rays of the sun on your skin, and the like. Sadly, the negative
Yep.
aspects, ASPEC specs, can overshadow all the good
Oh.
that a new day can unfold. Unfold. Where are we going here, brain? I swear I can type. Sadly, the negative aspects can overshadow all the good that a new day can unfold. It is hard to get out of that SPIRWEL spiraling. Nope. Spiral. SPIRLING. Nope.
AL.
SPIRAL. Spiraling. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
That needs to be capitalized because it is hard to get out of that.
Oh, thank
spiraling
God.
mindset. Like you should have said something.
I was going to tell you later. Don't worry. It was before you sent it. I was going to tell
It is hard to
you.
get out of that spiraling mindset. But it is hard to get out of that spiraling mindset. I know from EXPERIENCE. The only reason I know how to spell that word is because of Dungeons and Dragons. No, seriously, the amount of times I spelled the word experience.
I was going to say, if it helps, it helps.
From experience. I wish you all the luck and know that one person is looking forward to your next wonderful day.
Bay. All right, so you have form instead of from.
Looking forward to context
Oh,
from.
sorry,
Thank
I know.
you.
Yep.
You have this wrong
you I'll get
word.
you at the
Okay, I
end.
have a paragraph here. Narrow it down. All right, starting from
Sorry.
the top. So, the best thing I suggest is
top
to
is
look
wonky.
forward to the positive things that the following days can bring. And it does not need to be large things. It can be simple things like how the butterflies flew out, the rays of sun on your skin, and how usually when I give examples, I always like to do it in threes, which is a weird thing for me. How butterflies flew about, the rays of sun on your skin, and the smell of a good DESSERT dessert.
Yep.
Is that dessert or desert? I always get those wrong.
1S is desert, double is sweet.
Okay. And the smell of a good dessert. Sadly, the negative aspects can overshadow all the good a due day can unfold. It is hard. There we go. Hard to get out of that spiraling man's mindset. Mindset? What the hell, Brave? I know from experience. I wish you all the luck and know that one person's looking forward to your next day. I guess wonderful. I'll just say your
Leave
next
it.
day. Control Z. Z.
Aw.
Next day. We'll just leave it as next day. Because they might not have
Self-fulfilling
that.
prophecy. Put it in there.
See, the thing of it is, I don't want it to be, even if they have a negative day, I'm still looking forward to it because it means it's one more day that they've done, if you will.
Hold on.
Processing, interpreting, running algorithm.
I will agree to this if you emphasize the word "your" in all capitals, because you're
Noted.
then putting the focus on them. Thank you.
Your, without the I.
What the
your
hell?
next day. It's next to the you. Don't argue with me.
I mean, you put the I in it. It's like yours and mine.
Looking forward to your next day.
I know. Yep. There you go. I can accept that.
Okay. And what sticker should we send them? I want to do the thumbs up one.
Go for it.
All 14 out of 14 lines used.
You did well, Grasshopper.
Yo! Send! Yeet!
Thank you for taking the time to think about a stranger. I'll rush this right over. I should do different voices every time that comes up.
It's all good.
Oh, sorry. I need you. Do we have keep going? We'll read the first one. Everyone else can read. Oh, hey, they discovered something. Perfect. There we go.
I didn't know if you want me to just skip all over all of it because it's repetitive.
Yeah, we just do it. Yeah,
Okay.
like the first one is fine because it's fun. Do different
Okay.
voices and just like.
Gotcha. So, Serena, do you have a request that you want to make? Is there anything you're worried about?
Yes.
Okay. Now comes
So my
dictation. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. There you go. I'm gonna keep this sweet to the point as best as I can. Let's see if I can do it. Struggling with multiple tasks. It's a P. Multiple. Multi-able. No, take the A out.
That
Oh,
doesn't
gotta
look
move the
right
P
for
over
some
one.
reason.
Oh, there's an I before the T as well. Just take it all out. We're gonna have to fucking keep thinking out. This is gonna M-U-L-I-T. Damn it! I can't visualize it past that.
Okay, this is getting annoying. This is the reason why I wish they had like
P-L-E. P-L-E.
sorry.
Are you Googling it?
Yes.
At least use your phone. It's quicker.
Is it really? What the hell is a multipole? Is a mathematical series of representative function. What the multiplication? Closer. PLE multiple?
If I'm right, I'm gonna be mad.
If you're right, I'm gonna be mad. I think
Is
that's
that it?
I
'Cause I'm
think
right. I'm right, Mother Ducker. I'm right. You almost made me put another I in there out of paranoia.
struggling with multiple tasks.
Struggling with multiple tasks and ensuring that all important ones get done. With an E. Ensuring, by the way. Sorry.
Sure? I feel like that's correct.
Yeah, I'm sure. No, that's not. Take the I from the beginning. Put the E. Get the E away. You drop the E and add an ing. Take the E away. Take it away. Are you looking it up again? It's ENSURING. I use that all the time.
You'd be surprised how often I use Google as just a spell check.
Okay, I'll wait until you're done double checking that I know how to spell it. What happened? If we're giving me like insurance for my car, if you're insuring me for medical, that's right. But to ensure that something is done correctly, it's with an E. ENSURING. Ensuring. Get away from that I. Because you're going to Google ensuring, it's going to be like, it's a word. And you're like, I'm not going to read what it says. It's a definition, but it's a word.
All right, so starting
Why'd
from the
you
beginning.
put an E there?
Just to annoy you. INSUR.
No! ENSURING.
ENSURING. Insuring. Oh. I was under the impression the I and the E. No, we were talking about two different spots of the word.
That's what I was telling you. Between to make sure something gets done and to make sure someone's ass is covered in the case of an accident.
Okay.
Showing with multiple tasks and ensuring that all important ones are done. I've put off something important 3 days in a row and I'm starting to feel bad. My ferrets stink.
Wait, my ferret stink?
Yeah, and it's like a joke, but their cage, I need to clean their cage, but we were doing the chicken coop and run area, so we've been spending time out there, and if I'm not out there, I'm in here either in pain or making food, so. Put a sad face to that too, by the way. IR.
Thank you. I was trying to remember because it's there, and there.
Yep. I have a little thingy that I can show you. That helps.
Sorry. I was like, wait, what is this? Makes absolutely no sense.
My parents think their cage needs changing. I have a little thingy I can show you. Oh, that took a turn.
That's a turn. All right.
Sad face, like, yeah.
Wait.
Yep. No, I'm not happy about it. There you go. That's it.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Okay.
The end.
Send. Sorry.
You're good.
You want to read it?
You've read a request. I will run this right over to the post office to be copied and sent all over the world. Going.
Okay, fine.
Whee! Cushion.
Oh! Okay.
Right! We learned this before last time. Like right at the end.
You think I remember. Because each one of the different rooms has a different thing. Oh, I like that. I don't remember the rocks on that one. Let's show them all. Whee! that's pretty cool.
I like the beat here too.
It's the same beat no matter what room.
Oh, I liked what the beat changed to.
It was a good
Oh no, in
show.
that last room I was getting real big what do you call it?
This one
Owl City vibes. No,
or this one?
that one. Yeah.
Because where's the radio? Here we go. Because we can edit our playlists as well.
No. Yeah, there's one that actually makes me cringe.
I don't know which one that is.
I don't know either.
But on the upside of it, Clark Abound. Great work on all this audio, by the way.
Yes, I love it.
All right. So I think we're done here. Yoink! I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you, Worm.
Okay. Let's go back. All right. That was a fun trip.
That was. Well, Orm, how did you feel?
I don't know. The wines make me feel pretty good. I do have water by as well, so I will hydrate as well. Um, I
Good.
feel decent. How do you feel, Serena?
I feel chill and happy.
Good.
All right. I hope everyone enjoyed our show tonight, and we will be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully I won't
Oh, that's
forget to
right.
do the event.
We completely forgot to mention that.
Or did we? Dun dun dun.
I think we did. But yeah, we're kind of changing our
Well, I just said
format a
it.
little bit. Well, yes, but there's no context
Didn't
to it.
forget.
Moving on. We are changing our format a little bit because of both our schedules and just obligations to other things. So we'll be doing the show Sundays now. Same time, about
Yes.
8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Yep, I was right.
Turn.
And we'll be doing like every other week as well. So we won't be doing as many, but we'll try to see what our schedules provide. But right now, with both our schedules, that is what we're gonna do.
Exactly.
Sorry, I just felt like that clarification needed to be in there for some reason.
Wait, what?
I felt like that clarification needed to be in there as a reason, like we are now doing it every 2 weeks, Sundays instead of Saturdays, and all that fun stuff.
Got it. Thumbs up. Hopefully everyone can make it to our next show. Again, hopefully I will get it posted sooner.
No problem, and I'll get it on YouTube as soon as it's done with Twitch.
Woohoo.
Yep.
So with that all being said, thank you very much. Just take it one day at a time. I know you'll make it through.
If you ever need to talk, there's always someone in your corner.